portion of the federal budget reflected what was happening in the operations of the defense and intelligence agencies. On September 17th, Bush signed a nearly open-ended presidential finding, a document legally required in order to authorize covert activities by the CIA and other intelligence agencies. The term covert, as opposed to clandestine or secret, means the activities are supposed to remain concealed so that the United States could plausibly deny its involvement if necessary. Clandestine or secret activities are concealed, but, if they are discovered, their U.S. sponsorship can be acknowledged. Under law, military operations, even the most carefully concealed, are not meant to be covert. As reported first by Bob Woodward for The Washington Post, Bush's presidential finding on al-Qaeda directed the CIA to undertake the most sweeping and lethal covert action since the agency was founded in 1947. The objective was to attack bin Laden's organization and to kill or capture those responsible for the 9/11 attacks and their supporters. Bush immediately gave the agency $1 billion and instructed the military to help the CIA in any way it could. From the presidential finding grew dozens of frenzied programs to beef up the spy agency's paramilitary capabilities and support infrastructure around Afghanistan. Each one of them flew by the desk of John Rizzo for review. He was the CIA's senior deputy legal counsel. There was a flood of money and also a flood of authorities, a flood of responsibilities that we were directed to undertake, obviously immediately, said Rizzo, who by then had already spent a quarter-century at the agency. It overwhelmed the infrastructure that was in place. I had met Bill Arkin 10 years before, during a much simpler operation, Desert Storm, the 1991 U.S. invasion of Iraq, the first Gulf War. Arkin was a meticulous chronicler of the military and the national security establishment, writing about the nuclear arms race during the Cold War and later about the air power era of the 1990s. He conducted assessments on the ground in Iraq and the former Yugoslavia and then persuaded the Air Force to give him detailed bomb damage assessment data to develop authoritative accounts of accidental civilian deaths, known as collateral damage, inflicted during air campaigns. From his converted office barn in Vermont, the former Army intelligence analyst wrote books on how to research the military and how to use the internet to unearth government secrets. In the 1980s, using only publicly available information, such as telephone books, Arkin had located the secret U.S. nuclear weapons sites in Europe, infuriating the Defense Department and causing a firestorm in Europe, but also showing the government what a poor job it did keeping secrets. To understand any national security question, he collected and cataloged troves of documents, budgets, contracts, military directives, program descriptions, hearing transcripts, job listings, telephone directories, audits, and a brain-pickling list of other sources. Shortly after 9/11, Arkin began to notice numerous changes in the budgets, hearings, and military directives he had discovered. Colorfully random two-word titles began to appear. Nonsensical phrases like busy lobster, fervent archer, and scarlet cloud. The names of military operations, such as Brave Warrior, Justice Assured, and Freedom Eagle, all made a statement about political purpose and resolve. But Titrant Ranger? What did that mean? Arkin's way of dealing with this proliferation of code names was to pull them into detailed computer files and study them as a whole. He had collected more than 3,500 of these odd phrases. To analyze them, he created a three-tiered classification system, a secrecy pyramid. At the base were designations that he already knew, and which were commonly used nicknames for military exercises and hardware and the like, phrases like Desert Storm and Enduring Freedom. The next level contained classified names that could only be vaguely definable by cross-referencing them with a budget line, a contract.